Hello, and welcome to Verbling. Hi there, I'm Teacher Oakley. For the next hour in this class here at Verbling, we'll be looking at vocabulary related to speaking about the environment. We'll look at many concrete nouns, frankly, mostly focused on environmental issues or concerns. As well, we'll look at sentence constructions that we typically would use when we're discussing the environment. This topic, of course, is a very popular topic these days for general discussion and conversation amongst normal people, but as well, this is kind of a hot topic in regards to many of the standardized English exams, such as IELTS, CAE, TOEFL, TOEIC, etc. So, good practice for those of you interested in studying up for that. In addition, we'll be doing some exercises, mix and match, fill in the blank. Students will take turns doing the exercises, and we'll have a little discussion along the way. And then in the following hour here on Verbling, we are going to practice using the vocabulary we learn in this hour by having a general discussion about the environment and environmental problems. Okay, well, let me say hello to some students and we'll get started. Hello, Mason. How are you?
Hello.
Hello.
How are you, teacher? Hello, how are you, teacher?
Good. I'm good. I'm doing well. Thank you. Welcome to the class. Hello, Heidi. How are you?
Hello. Nice to see you again.
Likewise. Nice to have you aboard. Okay. Let's talk about the environment. I'm going to do some. I'm going to do a screen share here. We're going to start with some fairly basic vocabulary, a little fill-in-the-blank exercise. So looking at some nouns and verbs associated with discussing the environment. We'll use these words above to fill in the blank. So please read the sentence and do your best to figure out what word may best fill in the blank. Mason, number 1, please.
During the last 100 years, we have done great damage to the environment.
Correct word, right?
Yes.
Right. Mason, be very careful about your words that end with G. I've worked with many South Koreans before. You know what I'm talking about. The G sound or the CH sound at the ends of words, like damagee and churchy and like that. Yeah, got to be mindful of that. But you are correct. We have done great damage. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. A straightforward idea, I think. Important to this word damage. Remember that we use damage for objects or things, or in this case, the environment, abstract things. But we don't use damage for physical injury to our bodies. This is a common mistake I hear with this word. I damaged my knee or something like that. We wouldn't say that. We would normally say I injured my knee, or maybe I hurt my knee. Okay, Heidi, number 2.
There are large chemical waste on our town which had polluted the river twice in the last year.
A large chemical what? Waste? Well, chemical waste, yeah, it definitely co-locates. Those words definitely go together. to talk about a byproduct of chemical processes, which, heaven forbid, is put into the river. But this noun has polluted. So waste can't pollute. You know, pollution can't pollute. We can't use it as the subject noun here. You see. So this noun, polluted. Heidi, do you see what I'm saying? Am I making sense?
What?
I guess not. Okay. Chemical waste does go together, but a chemical waste can't do an action. We can't say the chemical waste polluted the river. Well, yeah, we can. Okay. I'm sorry. All right. What we're looking for here,
Factory.
there's a large chemical factory which has polluted the river. Now, they probably put chemical waste in the river. Yeah, we wouldn't say, okay, here's the problem. It's grammatical. We can't say a waste. Chemical waste, of course, being an amorphous blob, we don't know the amount, we can't count it. So that's the problem here. It's purely grammatical, actually. Waste is an uncountable noun. So we need a countable noun because we have the indefinite article, a. Okay. All right. Ziad has joined us. Hi, Ziad. How are you?
Hi, Oki. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Ziad. I'm going to throw you right in. We're filling in the blank with these words up above. Can you read sentence number 3?
Okay, the government is very worried about the of our rivers and beaches. Okay, can you go? Okay, the pollution.
Yeah. Okay. Pollution of. Right. Notice the
Pollution of
collocation.
our rivers and beaches.
There you go. Yeah. Okay. Again, pretty straightforward. I think we probably all know what pollution is. All right, Meeson, number 4. Meeson?
Yes. A lot of household waste, like bottles and newspapers, can be, what is that? Can be number 3, 4, can be recycled, and used again.
Of course. Okay. All right, Meeson, do you typically recycle?
Yes, I do.
Of course you do. You live in California.
Yes, I do.
I knew the answer. Mm-hmm. Okay. Of course, household waste. We have many words that co-locate with waste. I already mentioned chemical waste, household waste, industrial waste, toxic waste, radioactive waste. None of them are good, obviously. Household waste, of course, refers to personal consumer, you and I, normal people. And we recycle bottles, newspapers, cans, and such so that they can be used again to make new bottles and furniture and cans and whatever. Right. Heidi, number 5.
Environmentalists are furious with the American government for deploying measures which will reduce greenhouse gas emission.
Very good. Okay. Environmentalists, people concerned with the environment, are furious. Heidi, what is furious?
Angry.
Yeah, really angry. It's an extreme adjective for angry. That's right. Okay, greenhouse gas emissions when gases, okay, like CO2, for example, greenhouse gases, methane, go out into the air. They are emitted is the verb, to emit, and so the noun form is emissions. All right, Ziad, number 6.
Okay. Can you ask you a question about number 5?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
What does greenhouse gas mean? I don't know exactly what does it mean.
Oh, okay. Greenhouse gases, most people tend to think of CO2, but there are others. Water vapor itself is a greenhouse gas, frankly. Methane, sulfuric emissions. These are gases that tend to trap heat in the atmosphere. And when people talk about global warming, they talk about it being due to the increase of greenhouse gases, which in turn, cause the Earth to heat up, is the idea. Do you know what a greenhouse is? Ziad?
Not really.
Okay. Greenhouse especially in colder countries, is in a building, and a building that's designed with glass or perhaps clear plastic, which is designed to grow tomatoes,
Okay.
roses,
Yeah.
whatever. It's all made
Okay.
of glass, so the sun shines in and the heat stays inside, you see.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that way you can grow things like tomatoes in the middle of winter. Greenhouse or hothouse. Sometimes you'll hear them called hothouse tomatoes or hothouse flowers. Same thing. It's the same basic principle,
Yeah, I see.
that the
Okay.
heat is trapped. Okay.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
All right. Number 6.
There are lots of things we can all do uh, to protect the environment.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Protect the environment. What would the opposite be? Obviously, protect the environment, very positive.
Yeah.
What would the opposite be? What word would we use instead of protect?
Destruct the
Yeah,
environment.
destroy. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. Typically, when we talk about the environment, we use these two verbs, to protect and to destroy. Very typical. Okay. All right. What causes the damage? Okay. Obviously, looking at some negative things here: exhaust fumes, pesticides. All right. Crops isn't exactly negative, but okay. Let's move on and learn about these words. Mason, number 1.
The government is introducing strict new rules on the dumping of emission by industry.
Well, no.
What is that? Toxic waste.
Yeah. Simply because to dump, the verb here,
Mm.
well, it's the gerund form, but nevertheless, this would be the verb that you would do with toxic waste. Toxic waste would be like an actual physical thing from a factory, okay, industry,
Yes.
that would be put in the ground or something. You dump something, it's put in the ground. In fact, the colloquial expression for a place where we put piles and piles and piles of garbage is called a dump. Colloquially, that's what we called it when I was a kid. Oh, we got to go to the dump and take our garbage to the dump, like that. So you dump, solid things. You don't dump emissions. I guess emissions, I don't know, you release emissions is a typical verb, but it's a gas. Emissions are a gas, so you can't, we wouldn't
Yes.
use the verb dump. All right.
Okay.
All right. Toxic, of course, is a very nasty word. Toxic means probably poisonous to humans. if it's toxic. All right, Heidi, number 2.
Farmers contribute to environmental damage by spraying pesticide.
Yep.
Pesticide with which stay in the soil for years with exhaust fumes.
That's weird.
No.
I don't know. I'm having problems with this. By spraying pesticides is definitely right. With, I don't know, chemicals which stay in the soil, but we don't have chemicals.
Exhaust fumes.
Now, I guess you're right. I guess it would have to be. But that seems weird. Usually exhaust fumes we associate with factory smokestacks or cars. You know, cars and trucks have exhaust fumes. That's a little odd. I'm not sure about that one. Again, it looks like toxic waste again, but That's. Oh no, I get it. I get it. Oh, Heidi, I'm sorry, I forgot. We've got it kind of backwards. By spraying, but I didn't see it either. It's actually obvious when I forgot about it. By spraying crops with pesticides. You see, they spray the crops. The action happens to the crops with pesticides.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't. Yep. See, they spray the crops.
Spray crops is strange.
Yeah, well, okay, it's one of those. Yeah, I didn't see it at first either. It's one of those things where it's kind of.
You spray crops around there. It's
they spray on the crops. Yeah. Yeah, okay, by spraying pesticides on the crops. It would be the opposite way to say it, but by spraying crops with pesticides. It's one of those tricky, you know, when you try to make an active sentence and it has 2 object nouns, you turn it into a passive. There's 2 ways to do it. It's kind of like that. It's possible to do this. You could say it either way. Yeah, okay, well, anyway. That's it. Crops, of course, Heidi. What are crops?
Crops of year of corn or wheat.
Yeah, any plant we grow for food. Wheat, corn, pineapples, whatever.
Yeah.
Could be crops. That's it. Okay. All right. Well, we figured it out. Ziad, number 3.
I think there is a word toxic waste, right?
There is, but although that could fit here, toxic waste is like something you can physically touch with your hand. You could see it on the ground. So
maybe exhaust fumes from factories in northern Germany affect the environment in large parts of Scandinavia.
Okay. Well, yes, you're on the right track. That's what they're talking about. What comes out of the smokestacks, which are exhaust fumes, but generally it might be emissions as well. It could be either one would fit. Emissions are the release of chemicals in a gaseous form. So are exhaust fumes. Actually, frankly, they're the same thing. Normally, we associate in English the word exhaust with cars, but yeah, well, factory smokestacks as well. Either one, I think, would actually fit here. All right, Mason, number 4.
Tropical rainforests have always helped to keep the environment in balance, but recent The deforestation means they no longer absorb as much carbon dioxide as they used to.
You got it. Exactly. Deforestation. The word forest with, of course, the prefix D, which is negative. All right. Or it means like it's similar to usually introduces a negative. Deforestation. Goodbye forest. Goodbye trees. That's the idea. Okay. Of course, they cannot absorb, plants absorb carbon dioxide. People breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. Plants breathe in, if you will, loosely. They don't really breathe. They use carbon dioxide and they emit oxygen. Right. Okay. All right. Heidi, number 5.
Emission from cars and other vehicles cause a great deal of damage to the environment.
Yeah. Again, we've got these two words that are extremely similar. Exhaust fumes, emissions, they really mean the same thing. Again, most English speakers associate exhaust with cars. In fact, the the part of your car that is like a tube, a pipe, where the smoke comes out of your car is actually called an exhaust pipe. I'm not sure if British call it the same thing, but Americans call it an exhaust pipe, which is probably why we associate exhaust with cars. Exhaust pipe. Of course, if you have to, by law, have your car checked out for what comes out of the exhaust pipe, that's called an emissions test. So in reality, we use both words to talk about what comes out of a car quite normally. Hi, Sam. How are you? Welcome to the class. Hello, hello. How are you today?
Yes, hello, good morning. Yes, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. Come right back to you in just a second. Okay. Ziad?
Yes.
Okay, which verbs cannot be used with the environment? Well, they could be, but which, more like, which words co-locate with environment and which do not? There's basically, really, there's only one word here.
I think it's hurt.
Sorry?
I think it's hurt.
Hurt. You can hurt the. I think we can hurt the environment. It's a little odd. Okay, what the company's doing hurts the environment. No, we can use it. It's okay. There's really only one word here that doesn't work for me with environment. Damage the environment's okay. Harm the environment. Injure the environment. You injure your knee. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for personal physical. Destroy the environment, that's okay. Hurt the environment, obviously pollute the environment is okay. Yeah, I discussed it near the beginning of class. Common mistake. You injure physically your body, you damage something. You can damage your car, damage your house, or damage your reputation, even abstract things. But it's a common mistake to switch those back and forth.
But when we are talking about the environment, are all these verbs mean the same thing?
Oh, okay. Let's take another quick look. Bad, not used, bad. Yes, they're all bad.
Yeah, I know they're all bad, but I mean, like the meaning of the words.
Yeah. Okay, damage causes something bad. Yeah, they're all basically the same. Destroy is a little more extreme. Okay, a little more completely hurt or harm. Pollute is a little more, less emotional. It's a little more straight, physical, analytical, and I guess, formal. But other than degree, yeah, they basically do all mean the same thing.
Okay.
They're all quite negative. Okay, little mix and match for our next exercise. Match the word on the left with the word on the right to make a common expression. And then we will use them in another fill-in-the-blank exercise. Sam, what word co-locates with global?
Yes, global warming.
Yeah, there it is. We've all heard this one a gazillion times in the last 10 years or so. Absolutely. Okay, Sam, in your own words, what is global warming?
Global warming is our globe, our Earth.
Mm-hmm. Warming.
Earth temperature is rising, and due to rising, the weather is, or we can say that temperature is increasing, and due to this, we always saying that due to the increasing temperature, our Earth is warm than as compared to several years ago.
Right. There's been kind of a movement, I don't know, a change in direction by, I'm not sure, the scientific media, the scientific community, the media, to use a different co-location, and that is climate change instead of global warming, because as the climate changes, some places actually get colder. There've been record cold temperatures here and there around the globe. So in order to avoid kind of pointless arguments, we've tried to kind of change the idea away from global warming to just climate change. So basically still talking about the same thing, but the fact
in a different way.
yeah, the changes cause not just warming, but basically adverse effects to the climate.
You know that several places are affected by warming, and some no doubt places where colder temperature or cold weather is more colder than before. So, but many places, yes, global warming is increasing day by day, and a places but normally the temperature of our Earth is 1 degree. I think 1 degree is increased. Yes, is increased. That's why the term is used, global warming, and no doubt climate change. It's same thing.
Right. That's the idea. Yeah, basically they've talked about 1 degree of temperature change in the last, I don't know, 100 years or something. Okay, Meeson, which word co-locates with greenhouse?
Greenhouse effect.
Right, and we kind of talked about that earlier when we talked about what a greenhouse is. Yeah, the trapping action of the gases in the atmosphere. Heidi, what word co-locates with ozone?
Ozone layer.
Yeah, okay. Well, this is the first time we've seen this. So, Heidi, what is the ozone layer?
Ozone oxygen. Usually a molecule of oxygen, 2 atoms, but it's 3 atoms, ozone. So
Very good.
From usual ozone, usual oxygen.
Okay, that was very excellent, very scientific of you.
It covers the high place of the sky. Then it reflects some kind of rays come from the sunlight.
That's right.
And if the
Excellent.
ozone layer is getting thinner, they don't have any power to reflect that harmful rays came from the sun.
Excellent. Very good job explaining it. Couldn't have done better. Right. These harmful rays and this radiation cause skin cancer. This is why, I don't know how old you guys are, but when I was a kid, people went out to lie in the sun to try to turn brown, to try to cook their skin. But nowadays, we're all very, very discouraged from doing that behavior. And in fact, you know, people people recommend the SPF. I think it's SPF. I don't know. SPF 30, SPF 50, SPF 80, SPF, the sunblock to block this radiation from heating our skin or from damaging our skin. Right. And you may talk about an ozone. You may hear talk about an ozone hole, which appeared above the Antarctica, the South Pole, some years ago. It was actually like a big hole in the sky where this ozone layer just disappeared. Right. Okay. Ziad,
Yes.
acid?
Acid rain.
Yeah, okay. First time we've seen this. What is acid rain? Do you know?
It's rain that contain a high concentration of acid, I think.
Mm-hmm. And what is the effect?
I think the effect of this kind of rain is mainly the buildings.
Well, I'll tell you, I lived in a very rural mountainous area on the east coast of the United States. And there was a period of time, I don't know, about 10 years, where the tops of the mountains, especially the pine trees and other trees, all just turned orange and died. Ponds and streams up in the mountains, especially, again, they seemed to get it worst and get it first. All the fish would die. Places where I normally went fishing became dead ponds and dead streams, especially high in the mountains. However, here's one area where I'm quite happy to report after adjustments were made, government regulations were announced and enforced in Midwest factories. This problem actually got much better in quite a short amount of time. I think sometimes if we give Mother Nature, if you will, the chance, if we give her a chance, she'll recover very quickly. Anyway, situation is much better now. Ziad, have you ever heard of Mother Nature? Have you ever heard that expression?
Not really. No.
Okay. Okay, it's a very common expression, obviously metaphorical, that nature or the environment is like, like a mother takes care of she. It's thought of generally as a she. It's given
Yeah.
gender, and that she, Mother Nature, takes care of us, and like that. Kind of a general metaphor that's widely assumed by, used by English speakers. Okay. Now, since we've discussed these things, we should be able to fill in the blank here pretty easily. Sam, number 5. Using the phrases that we just created, or the collocations. Number 5.
Yes. The gradual rise in the Earth's temperature is known as global warming.
Yes, it is. Okay. Well, I think we've already defined and discussed that. Meeson, number 6.
When heat gets trapped In the Earth's atmosphere, it is known as the greenhouse effect.
Yeah. Okay. Looks like you guys are all going to get the same ones you just looked at. Heidi?
Scientists have found holes in the ozone layer, particularly over Antarctica.
Yeah, right. Okay, we already talked about that. All right, well, this is kind of silly. I guess we did this already. Ziad, number 8.
Rain mixed with toxic chemical from factories is known as acid rain.
Okay, all right. Let's talk global warming. Use these words to complete the text. We're going to read a little article about global warming and basically the effects of global warming, and use these keywords to fill in the blanks.
I have a question.
Sure. Yeah.
Those what are the gases?
Gases. Yeah.
Gases,
Isn't that
gases
weird?
are uncountable, non-countable.
Yes, that's true. I mean, when we're talking, okay, oxygen, CO2, whatever. Yes, it is. But when we talk about the group, this is a collective noun. Okay. When we see the word gases like this, we're talking about all of them.
Many kind of gases.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's exactly it. The same problem when we say words like fishes. All the fishes in the oceans. Like, same thing. So sometimes with uncountable nouns, you will see them pluralized to talk about all of the classes of these things, or all types of them. Yeah. So, yeah, good question. Since we're talking about this word here, I will also mention to you that I have a problem with these short words that end with S. And here's my problem, is that I would double the S. It's pretty normal to do this. Okay. Like gases with 2 S's. I think this is a British versus American thing, like bus, school bus, buses. I think this is one of those things where Americans will double the S in plurals, short words that ends with S, but British do not. For me, this looks like gases. What's a gase? I don't know. Anyway, slight difference there. Okie doke, let's read this short little article here. Sam, I think it's up to you. Just read up to, I guess, Earth here.
Okay. Scientists have shown that the temperature on the Earth is increasing by 0.1 degree every 10 years. That's 1 degree every century. The blank that produced by factories and cars are allowing more blank from the sun to the earth. Yes, I think
Oops, wait.
the gases that by factories and cars allowing more radiation from the sun.
Yep, it's got to be. Has to be. The only thing doesn't fit there. All right, we've kind of discussed that. The greenhouse gases. All right, trap the Earth. Trap the sun's heat and radiation. Okay, moving on. Mason?
In the future, this will have very serious consequences for humanity.
Okay.
As the Earth gets hotter, the Arctic and Antarctic okay. This factory.
Okay. will melt is the key.
Can say ice? No.
Yes, ice melts. Yeah,
Ice caps
that's it.
will slowly melt, and the level of the sea level will rise.
Yeah, well, you can say the sea level will rise, or the level of the seas, or the level of the oceans. Sea level obviously has the word level in it already. Since we have a level, you couldn't say the level of the sea level.
The sea, ocean.
Yeah, the ocean. Right,
Yes.
that's redundant.
The ocean.
Right. Okay, there you go. The ice caps. Okay, the ice caps are what's on the North and South Pole, or the Arctic and Antarctic. In addition to that, of course, we're worried about glaciers. Glaciers are large, moving solid ice that has formed on land masses, like in Greenland, or often at the tops of mountain chains. Okay, another source of melting ice. Okay, yeah. And the level of the oceans will rise. All right. Heidi from A, go ahead and finish this paragraph.
A recent report said that sea level will rise by 70 meters over the next 100 years, causing flood in many low-lying parts of the world.
70 meters? That's not what I heard.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. What have you heard? Certainly not 70 meters.
Maybe 7 only.
Yeah, I've heard 1 to 2 meters.
Yeah. What?
70 meters, my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, we all have to move to the Himalayas. Yeah, okay. And floods, of course. We know what floods are. Heidi, is there much flooding? And I'm not talking about tsunamis, but is there much flooding in Japan?
Yes. We have a typhoon. Sometimes typhoon brings a huge amount of water. Then it concentrates rain happens sometimes. It causes a flood or a landslide or something.
Right. Yeah, that that when you have a hurricane, by the way, one possible effect, okay, it's a little controversial, one possible effect of global warming is an increase in extreme weather, which Heidi just mentioned, typhoons. Typhoons in the Pacific, hurricanes in the Atlantic. Okay, but really they're basically they're the same thing. But again, in the Pacific they're called typhoons. In the Atlantic they're called hurricanes. Okay, when
the Philippines has a flood almost every year.
Yeah, well, that's one thing I've noticed. Obviously, living in the Philippines, we actually, where I live now in the Philippines, an average is 20 typhoons a year. At least go in the whatever Philippines area of responsibility, as it's called, which is a lot. And actually, that is definitely increasing. We've had basically 25 the last 5 years. In any case, I just wanted one other vocabulary collocation. When a typhoon happens and all that water floods the coast, which is very common, absolutely, anywhere that has typhoons or hurricanes, that's called tidal surge. And yeah, that's very common, especially obviously as ocean levels rise, the tidal surges during storms get worse. Pretty logical. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's continue here. Ziad?
There will be changes too. Some areas will become wetter, while other will become much drier. Some areas.
Okay. Okay, well, hang on. Let's get to blank here first. There will be blank changes too. What do we got?
Climate changes.
Yes, right word. Pronunciation a little off. The I is a long I. Cly, like climb a tree. Climate.
Climate.
That's it. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Climate.
All right. Some areas will become wetter while others become drier. Okay, Sam, can you finish?
Okay. There are some areas
Yeah, from
which today are green and fertile will eventually run into blank. Okay, eventually run into blank.
yeah, green and fertile will turn into. I think you said run
Right.
into, slip of the tongue, but they will turn into what?
Turn into desert.
Yes, deserts.
Okay.
Desert.
Desert. And
For syllable
what
stress.
about that desert we eat?
Dessert. Okay.
Dessert. Okay.
See the difference? At the end of a meal, you have something sweet to eat. That's dessert, which has second syllable stress. All right.
As a
Desert,
verb.
first syllable.
As a verb.
No, dessert.
Mhm.
Dessert, what we eat, whatever, chocolate mousse or ice cream or whatever, dessert, that's a noun, okay?
Okay.
However, we do have a verb, which is spelled with one S,
Mhm.
all right, which is to desert. If you desert your post in the military, you run away, all
Okay.
right? If you desert your family, you run away from them and you leave them, okay?
Mhm.
A negative verb, but it sounds exactly the same as the sweet thing we eat at the end of a meal. Dessert, dessert. They're homophones.
Mhm.
They sound exactly alike. Okay.
Mhm. Desert is here. Yes.
Yes.
Turn into desert.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay. Tropical diseases like malaria will become common in areas where today they are unknown.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. I'm sure you've all heard about the new mosquito-borne illness, which I
Yeah.
can't remember. What is it? Zika?
Siva.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? The scary new mosquito-borne disease that endangers pregnant women primarily. Well, it endangers their children, their unborn babies. Scary stuff. Okay, moving on. Environmental problems. Let's look at some expressions, some phrases commonly used when we're talking about environmental issues. Another little article here. We're going to use these phrases to fill in the blanks. All right, Meeson, start us off. The first sentence here.
Natural habitats of the forest is very worrying.
Well, I don't think we're worried about the natural habitats. Natural habitats is the places where things live normally, right? Don't think that's worrying. What is
Okay.
worrying?
Destruction. Yes, destruction.
Yep, there you go. The destruction of the rainforest, and that whole thing, that whole phrase, destruction of the rainforest, is very common, very strong collocation. Okay, destruction of the rainforest is very worrying. Of course it is. All right, Heidi.
Thousands of acres of forest are being cut down every year, and this of
Sorry.
many animals are being natural habitat.
There you go. All right. Where they normally live, their natural habitat. All right, the natural habitat of many animals are being destroyed.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. How much is an acre? What's an acre?
I don't know acre about.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I get very confused with this one.
Only American term or no?
Yeah, pretty much just Americans use acres. Well, I guess British use it as well.
Mm.
But I get very confused with acres. I don't know. Most of the world uses hectares, right?
Mm.
I can't ever remember how many acres in a hectare. I get that completely confused. But it's smaller. That much I know. Anyway. Okay. From as a result, Ziad.
Yes. As a result, many species are
Many. Is it species? This one is the long E sound. Species. Two of them, in fact. Species.
okay. Many species are in danger of extinction.
Exactly. Or we can also use the word endangered as an adjective by itself here. But okay, either that or the phrase in danger of extinction, endangered, right? Oh, what does that mean, endangered?
Uh, that mean like in the next 100 years we won't have this kind of species.
Yeah, that's it. Species. And also note you always have to pronounce. Common mistake is to pronounce it like spices or whatever, but species, and another common mistake is to say like spee as if this is a plural. It's really not a plural. It's one word. Okay, so there is no, yeah. So you always have to pronounce the S on the end. Okay, Sam, can you take over with the next paragraph here? Thank
Okay.
you. One hectare has 2.5 acres. Okay, yeah, that seems right.
Hmm.
All right, thank you.
This threaten this in turn threaten the traditional blank of many of the blank who lives in some in some in some of the most remote areas of our planet.
Okay. It threatens the traditional what?
Traditional traditional way of life.
Very good. And the whole thing co-locates tradition, way of life. Okay. Traditional way of life of who?
Mhm. Who live in most of the traditional of the many of the indigenous people.
Very good. All right. Very good. And what is indigenous?
Indigenous means people live live means they born over there or they
Yeah.
live for a very long time and
Uh,
or
I,
we can say that same is like that
yeah.
we people live, for example myself, I live in my country and where I born, where I grew up, so I can say that I am the
We're
indigenous of this place.
indigenous to is the
Indigenous too.
preposition we co-locate. You're indigenous to that area. Okay. It's kind of like a natural habitat where something, and more importantly, where it originally comes to, and not just people. Okay. For example, you may not know this, but tomatoes are indigenous to South America. Originally, tomatoes come from South America. Okay.
Mhm.
Obviously,
Mhm.
nowadays, tomatoes are everywhere, all over the earth. However, they originally come from South America. Okay. Sam, are there indigenous people in Pakistan? Do you have any?
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
People that live traditional lifestyles.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Same as like other places. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think this is everywhere in the world, right?
Uh, is it? I
I
don't
think
know. Are there any indigenous people still living in Europe? I don't think so. Not really. When we talk about indigenous people, all right, we're really not really. There's an element of people who don't really live modern, advanced, technologically influenced lifestyles. Okay.
okay.
For example, here where I live in the mountains, very close to where I live, there's an indigenous people, an indigenous tribe, and they hunt birds with bows and arrows still. Um, I mean, not that they completely don't reject all technology or anything like that, but they still frequently live a totally more primitive lifestyle. They're noticeably different. I mean, they are shorter. Their average height is like 1 foot shorter. Their skin color is dark, dark, dark brown. They have tight, curly hair. And here in the Philippines, most people have straight black hair. It's very noticeable that they are completely different. So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. The Ayeta, they're called. Very friendly people. But, okay. Where are we here? From Meeson?
Yes. As with most environmental issues, we need to think more, more, where is natural resources?
That would have to be more about natural resources. We're looking for, okay, more here is introducing an adjective, not a noun. Natural resources is a noun, plural noun, but yeah.
Resources. Natural habitats.
No, that's also a noun. These are
Okay.
places or things. We're talking about a way of thinking.
Long term.
Yes. As with most environmental issues, we need to think more long term, down the road. Think about the 100 years from now, not tomorrow. Okay? And
Realize that everything we do has implication for
you had it right the first time. Realize.
Future generation.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Future generations, people, our grandchildren's children's children, like that.
Yeah.
All right. And Heidi?
If we want to hand on our world to our children and grandchildren, we simply can't continue to misuse the world's natural resources as we are at the moment.
Misuse or overuse? I don't know. Okay. Well, hopefully this wasn't too preachy. Do you know what I mean, preachy? Do you know what I mean by that? When I say, I hope the material was not too preachy. Does anybody know what that means? No? Like a preacher, like a minister, like talking down to you. Oh, you need to think about the future. Whatever. In any case, I'll be back in a couple minutes, and we will discuss the environment, and we'll be practicing a lot of describing specific environmental problems where you live and what should be done about them in the future. Description and opinion in the next class. So, see you then. Thank you very much.